Hey everybody, Ryan Grant here and welcome back to the YouTube channel. In today's video, I'm going to be going through with you guys three really simple steps that is going to basically I'm going to explain to you how to prime your body for workouts, right? So you can have the best workouts possible, which is going to lead to you maximizing your progression in the gym. So the first thing that I want to go over with you guys is probably one of the most important things in terms of muscle growth and progression, and of course priming your body for workouts, as it is number one, right? So making sure you get enough recovery, right? Making sure you have planned rest days, right? The reason why recovery and rest days is super important is so you actually give your muscles time to recuperate. You do the damage in the gym, so as a consequence of that, you've got to let them recover so they get back to full charge, right? When someone doesn't have recovery, I like to think about it like this, and I like to teach people in my community this way. So if you don't allow yourself to recover, right, it's like a phone constantly operating on like 20%, right? If you get your phone down to 5%, right, and then you put it on charge, but then you take it off charge like 5 minutes later, it's only got to like 12%. You haven't given it enough time to charge. Therefore, it's not got a lot of energy, and it won't take much at all before the phone needs to get put on charge again, because it's going to die very quickly. And the phone is at very weak battery, very weak energy, very weak power. And it's the exact same thing if you don't let your body recover for a long enough time, or if you just don't give your body rest days, right? You're not going to give your body enough time to recover. Therefore, when you pull the charger out of you, let's say in terms of the example, then you're not going to have enough energy. You're not going to be at 100%. You're going to be operating at that 20%. And that is how burnout, injuries, shit sessions, that is how that occurs. And you are not going to make progress. And truly, muscle actually grows when you recover. You do the damage in the gym, as I said, but you let your muscles grow and recover stronger when you recover. So making sure you schedule rest days and have tactical rest days if you really need them is super important. So I'll give you guys an example. I train 4 days every week, so I train on Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. So I give myself 3 days to rest: Wednesday, Saturday, and Sunday, ensuring that I don't burn out, ensuring that I don't have bad sessions, ensuring that I'm strong for my sessions, and ensuring that I don't get injured. Okay, it's all super important. Okay, and another thing as well, if I'm feeling tired on Monday, for example, even though I'm meant to train chest, or for example, if my chest is sore and it becomes a Monday, just because I'm meant to train doesn't mean I have to train, right? If my chest is sore, or if I'm feeling really fatigued and I'm meant to train, I'll take a tactical rest day, because that is what is going to benefit me going forward. That is number one. Just make sure you have enough rest, and I would suggest going to the gym at an absolute maximum of 5 days a week, and making sure you get a minimum of 2 days of rest every single week. Okay, now moving on to number two, which is diet. Okay, diet is super important, and as I've explained in many other videos, diet acts to your body as fuel does to a car, right? Without fuel, or without petrol, without diesel, or whatever you want to call it, a car can't go anywhere. However, when it has a full tank, it can go on for hours before it needs to get refilled again, right? And it's the exact same thing with diet and the human body, right? If you feed yourself the right nutrients, and if you feed your body enough energy, you're going to be able to have good workout sessions, recover efficiently, and all of this stuff, right? But however, without diet, you can't do that. And it's super important for workouts, because if you're nutrient deprived for your workouts and you haven't got enough food or energy in your system, then the likelihood of you having bad workouts is going to be a lot higher, right? Unless you've adjusted to like fasting and all that. But if you're trying to bulk and gain weight as a skinny man, fasting is foreign to you, right? You shouldn't be fasting if you're trying to bulk. If you're really skinny, you shouldn't be fasting, okay? Because you're just not helping yourself, right? But diet is just super important, and more specifically, a pre-workout meal for priming your body for workouts. Okay, a pre-workout meal is basically just a meal you have before your workout, and this should be between an hour and a half to 2 hours before your workout, and this should consist of a healthy balance of proteins, fat, and primarily carbohydrates, as carbohydrates are the body's source of energy. But you don't want to be having these you don't want to be having like shit carbohydrates. You want to be having, rice, pasta, potato, banana, honey, good sources of carbohydrates, okay? Natural sources of I mean, pasta and rice isn't necessarily natural, but, you know, banana, honey, that sort of stuff, right? Carbohydrates is extremely important, okay? And obviously, the diet, the pre-workout meal is super important towards having a good session. So what I would highly suggest for you is to have a pre-workout meal an hour and a half to 2 hours before your session, giving the nutrients enough time in your body to release. And then by the end, by when you get to the gym, the carbohydrates, you know, it'll be released, and you'll have a lot of energy going into that gym session. You're going to perform better, and ultimately you're going to make more progression if you perform better in the gym, right? And you'll be able to push harder, lift more weight, etc., etc. Okay, so that is step number 2. So far we covered have tactical rest days and schedule rest days throughout the week, just like I had. For example, I rest every Monday, Saturday, and every Wednesday, Saturday, and Sunday. Sorry, and make sure you have a pre-workout meal with carbs in, obviously your proteins and fats as well, but carbs is very, very important. Okay, now moving on to step 3 out of 3, the final thing, and this isn't necessarily about, you know, um, the physical side of things. This is more about the mental side of things. You want to get in the zone. The mindset is super, super important. Your mindset going into a gym session can make or break whether you have a good gym session or not. Having superstitions, having things you do before the gym to just get you locked in, get you in the zone, whether that's listen to music, watch a motivational video of some inspiration of yours or a hero of yours, eating a pre-workout meal, watching a video, I don't know, or there's one staple video that you watch before your workouts. Whatever it is, whatever gets you in the zone before your workouts, lock in, okay? Because when your mind is when your mind is, you know, off in this direction, thinking about this, or thinking about work here, or thinking about family life here, you want to purely think about the gym. You want to become the muscle that you're going to train. For example, after this video, or after I've done a bit of work today, I'm going to go after my gym and train chest and shoulders. Before I go to the gym, I'm going to make sure I am the chest, I am the shoulders, I am locked in, and that is the only thing I'm thinking about. It may sound sad, it may sound weird, but trust me, your sessions will go, the quality of your sessions will exponentialize once you do this, okay? And the reason why this is because the mind and body are connected, right? So if you get the mind in the right mindset, then your body's, you know, it's all connected. You're going to be optimized for your gym session. You're going to be primed. You're going to have a better session. You're going to be able to push harder. And you're just going to want to rise up to the occasion, okay? And another thing that can really help this is planning as well. Planning the night before, you know, your workout. Just, you know, listing out the exercises, you know, the reps you're going to do, maybe even the weight you're going to do, right? It all helps, okay? So much. And that is now the end of this video. Thank you very much for watching. I wanted to keep it short and simple for you guys because really it's not that complicated, you know, making sure you keep things as simple as possible, not just in the gym but in life as well. It just helps you progress, because why would you want to make things complicated or hard for yourself? So yeah, if you're still here, thank you very much. I really appreciate your time, and I hope these 3 steps, if when you implement them, or if you do already, I really hope they're helping you, or they will help you. And because you're still here, I would absolutely love it if I can invite you into my very own free online community called the SlimToSculpt Alliance, where we help skinny men break free from their weight gain and gym progress problems, and we help them do things the SlimToSculpt way. When you join, as a matter of fact, I've just started opening up one-on-one call slots with the guys in there, so we can hop on a call, we can get to know each other, have a little chat, have a little chinwag if you'd like to say, get to know your problems in the gym, get to know your progress so far, so we can work on, you know, maximizing your progress and getting you going in the right direction. However, if you want to stay on the YouTube channel, then that's completely fine. If you enjoyed this video, then I'd really appreciate it a lot if you could drop a like, maybe a cheeky comment as well. That'll help the algorithm. That'll help me get more people like you on there, so you can connect and comment with more people like you. And obviously, if you want to stay around, I upload every Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday, so a subscription would genuinely go a long, long way. So, with that being said, thank you very much. See you in the next one.